Hey everyone,
Hey friends.
and welcome to episode 4 of External Validation, the podcast.
Hey Chris.
What's going on?
Nothing. How are you?
I'm doing really great. I can't complain. It's been a good week. How about you? Yeah. No.
I've been having a rough one.
Why?
Do we just jump right into the cheers and the challenges?
Just say we jump right
We
in.
just hop on in.
We hop, we skip, and jump all at once.
So I had a week.
Okay.
So we'll start with my challenge.
Okay.
We're
starting off a little more negative than normal.
It's like good news or bad news. You always get the bad news first, because then the good news kind of
Reinforce how great things are good. Yeah. Love it.
I had a very challenging professional lesson that I had to learn today. I don't know if lesson's the appropriate word, maybe like a situationship. And it really, I'll be straight with you. Was that a sneeze?
Yeah, that was a sneeze.
Fucking Lewis.
That was the depths of the underworld, yeah. We'll have to cut that part, but it's okay.
Okay, so we'll go back.
So we're going to start with some challenges.
Yes, so I had a professional sitch today.
I understand.
That, to be completely honest, was very triggering for me in previous situations that I've had. And it really, derailed my day. I really allowed it to kind of consume my psyche today. And it was really, you know what? It wasn't even like I did something wrong. It was just, unfortunately, the universe and freaking Microsoft Outlook conspired against me.
Oh my gosh.
And unfortunately, I'm used to in my professional life, if something goes wrong, people come directly to me.
Mm-hmm. I assume that wasn't the case in this case.
It was not the case. Mm-hmm. And mind you, I'm only on month 5 or 6 of this job, so we're all still learning about how each other works.
So we always talk about the wraparound. Is this the go around? Is this what we're labeling?
Are we going back around? I don't listen.
Here we
you guys
go.
Let us know what you think. We're still trying to brand.
I would like to coin said phrase.
The circle back.
The go around.
Is that a corporate term that I've never heard of?
Okay, just keep going. It's not a problem.
For
No, hey, no.
Okay, I'm sorry. I told you I'm in my feelings.
Yeah,
today.
clearly. Jesus.
But yeah, so we're still learning each other. And I'm just that's okay.
Wait, what is this?
So, it's only been 5 or 6 months. So we're very slap happy today. So it's only been 5 or 6 months. We are still learning how everyone works independently. And this was a situation where they unfortunately didn't direct it to me. They went straight to my manager, which it felt just kind of crummy.
Sure.
I thought I've kind of, thus far, after my great review that I had last week that I was on cloud 9, I thought that I kind of built a reputation for people to understand if something goes wrong, please come to me directly and I will immediately remedy the situation.
Sure.
I'm never someone to maliciously do something or intentionally not take care of something. So it was really jarring for me. And I have to be the bigger person to understand it was jarring because of previous roles that put me in similar situations. But I'll come down from it. I have my glass of wine. I got you. We're going to talk through it.
Absolutely.
But lessons were learned today. And we'll be okay. I'm just 1,000% in my feels. So that's my challenge for the week. But my cheers.
Okay, let's get this wine ready, Betty.
Ready?
Why don't you wait? Yeah, I called you Betty. You're not Betty.
No, I'm not Betty.
You're not Betty.
I'm not.
Yep, there's no Betty here.
Okay, anywho, cheers for the week. Okay. I had a really phenomenal.
I'm going to actually take a sip of wine for that.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, just give us a minute. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Oh, a good old berry.
It's quite fruity and flagrant.
Actually, what is
flavorful?
Hold on, they're not flamey. I'll tell you that much. Is this the one with the dome?
No, that was a different.
That was in
the Stag's Leap district. This is in a different area.
This is in the Knights Valley. But it doesn't tell me it just says Bodora style wines, but it doesn't tell me the
net.
Anywho, net.
We love it.
It's a Napa Valley.
We love it.
It's a Napa Valley cab. cheers for the week. I had a phenomenal weekend with family.
Love it.
We had a wedding on Saturday, and it was a daytime wedding. It was my first daytime wedding.
On a Saturday daytime.
On a Saturday
That's great for like a Sunday
5.
perspective too, because Sunday was thanking you.
Can I tell you, I was showered, hair done, moisturized, brushed teeth by 6 p.m. on a Saturday.
Oh, that's a wonderful weekend.
It was phenomenal.
And like you're just thinking like, I have endless options ahead of me. Yeah.
I never, like, I kind of looked at it. I'm like, oh, you know, like it takes up my day. I don't know how it's going to be.
Oh, but then you realize it's 6 o'clock. You go, the night is young.
It was young.
I didn't eat dinner.
Did not.
I have anything in my refrigerator or what Uber Eats would give me.
I'm behaving on Uber Eats, but let me tell you, I was scrolling.
You know what? Okay, fun fact, I've actually never Uber Eated. I did DoorDash before, but I never did it Uber Eats.
Uber Eats, I'm actually using more in the city at work. We do like Uber Eats group ordering, which I didn't know was a thing. I messed up the last one. So let's just say I still need to learn.
It's still part of the challenge, but that's okay.
But yeah, so it was a family wedding. It was absolutely stunning.
Wait, can I just ask you, like, did you get the order wrong or did you send it to the wrong location? Because
No, so on group ordering, you like get to like send it to people that you've ordered with before, but there was like a checkout option that some people didn't do, so I went to like check out for the mass, but then it removed their order. Then everyone had to go back in and put their order. It was very convoluted. I was not a fan. I said I will never do this again.
Yeah, the good news
do not
is
leave me for lunches. Is all I'm gonna say.
The good news is lunch was still served that
lunch
day.
was still served.
Also, maybe some aggression and hangriness.
You know, everyone was kind of laughing at me, and I said, you know what, valid. This is a thing to laugh at me for because I just didn't know what I was doing. But I learned. You go,
had I ate, I wouldn't have had this problem.
No.
And honestly, you go, I blame that on my empty stomach.
Yep.
It's not my problem.
It's not my problem.
Blame my stomach.
But I have to say, the sushi fixed it.
You know,
you're not a sushi
I don't
person.
like sushi.
I don't want to talk
nope.
About, you're not
nope.
a car person.
Nope.
You're not a sushi person. But like, I found a place in New York that's like good, fresh.
I love that. Can I just say though, if you didn't find a place in New York, that would be problematic.
That'd be questionable.
Yeah, I would say you're very picky then.
Oh, and we know I'm not.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you were like, I can't find a place in New York City, I would be like, Millie, we have issues.
You're
like,
not looking hard enough.
No, yeah, we need to just try Yelp, MapQuest, anything to find a place.
You know me, I'm a big researcher, so I look at the reviews.
Oh,
I look at the distance.
I will tell you,
all of it.
I do think it's important to look at the reviews. However, I had a friend once before who only went to restaurants in the city that had a health grade rating of A or better. Or just A, I should say.
How do you find that information?
So as soon as you look, so one, you can look on like the Department of Health, and two, you can also look in their window, like when you order, it has like their letter grading, and it'll have like an A, B, C, whatever it is. But the difference between A and B are like drastic.
Oh shoot, I didn't know this.
So when people have like a B rating, even though
don't go there.
I mean, personally, it wouldn't be my preference. I'm not saying not to go. I would not.
So, net, Chris is the friend that doesn't go to restaurants that have less than an A rating.
It's just, and I'm saying that's in cleanliness. So that's a deal. Yeah.
Understood.
So think about that. Okay. But I'm sorry about your challenge.
You know, that's okay. I mean, you got to take it as a learning thing. And I learned my lesson, and now I just got to, wind it down and be better tomorrow.
Oh my God, I love that.
What about yours?
Oh my gosh. So I had a good week. I had a really good run. I didn't have a great long run. I was supposed to do a 22 miler, which I was, I've been having this like weird knee thing going on, and it feels like my tendons are like rolling over each other. Yeah. Some people say, like it sounds a little odd. It almost feels like in a weird way. It sounds like my knee tendons are like flicking over each other as I'm running, and it just, and then it just has this weird pop sound, and I don't, anyway. Long story short, I don't feel comfortable running on it. Some people say it's completely normal. You can run on it. It's just not something I want to really test out or, chance fate on it, quite frankly.
Do you feel prepared for the marathon next month? Not doing a 22-mile run?
I'm going to try and do it again. I think the hard part, and maybe that goes into a bit of the
topic of the day.
My challenge is quite honestly that like I'm overly tired. So I think I'm spreading myself a little bit too thin. But wait, we did not do a clink to my cheers. So my cheers was said runs. So hold on.
It's my favorite sound in the world. that clink.
Oh my gosh, totally. But yeah, no, honestly, it was a very good run. We actually also, another good cheers that we had was I saw Hugh Jackman in the city.
HJ!
Hugh Jackman was wonderful. Pink came out with her daughter. They both sang absolutely incredibly. The show was fantastic. It was in Radio City. It was just a wonderful time. Yeah, really great time. But yeah, other than that, just, you know, just being overly tired and probably stretching myself too thin. That's been kind of the bane of my existence this week. But it's not a hard week, quite honestly.
But you know what? That's a great wraparound to this week's topic.
Which, as you know, in the last episode, and by the way, last episode was fantastic.
I'm so proud of us.
It was a really good week. Now, if we're being straight up, I mean, we kind of just said our challenges of spreading ourselves too thin, and you were talking about your challenge this week. Do you feel like you did set really good boundaries? No. I would say 1, 2, 3. No.
She did not.
We did not. I would say, did I try? Maybe.
No.
But did I put my best foot forward? No, I didn't. I wanted to.
1,000. The intention was there.
It's about intent. And I think if we just think of things through intentions, things are good.
You know, it keeps a positive lens on
it's about
some unpositive things.
The lens being positive. And if you think of it that way, then you're good.
You'll never fail.
You're never basically going to fail.
So at that point, net.
You circle back.
Circle back on the net.
Have we just solved every problem? I think we did.
Call us Einstein. E equals MC squared, but we just had to circle back with the net.
Wait a minute. Emilia equals Chris. And then
MC,
whatever.
You're not an M.
MC. M Chris.
E equals
MC.
So what's the E?
I'm just more saying like figuratively or symbolically.
This is not going to work for us.
And Chris.
Yes.
MC.
Yes, that I understand.
Squared.
But what is the E?
External Validation Podcast. Ayo.
You little witty
Call me
son
a
of
creative expert.
Well, this is why you are in the industry that you are in.
Well, this is why we're here.
We are.
But speaking of not having the great week and just speaking of maybe not setting those boundaries high and knowing that we are the two people in life that will kind of harp on maybe not setting those boundaries, probably kicking ourselves even when we're down.
Yep.
And then understanding not necessarily why we do feel even more hurt than we did the day before. I think that is what we would probably call a true sufferer of the beautiful word perfectionism.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's a love-hate with that word, let me tell you.
I will tell you that I actually, in the last episode, I believe I called myself a, quote, recovering perfectionist.
You did?
For years, I've been trying to kick the habit, but it's not one habit that goes away lightly.
Nope.
But
you can get off of cocaine easier than you can perfectionism. I'm just saying.
More people will recover from social media addiction than they will most likely from
perfectionism.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because the level and depth in which you're emotionally, mentally, and just physiologically ingrained with perfectionism, it is quite a staggering amount.
And I think the reason why we chose this topic today is because the central question that Chris and I ask ourselves, ask each other, ask our partners almost daily at this point is how can we take that drive that comes with perfectionism and channel it into something useful without letting it control us.
Yeah.
Because I think we allow it to be all encompassing of our life.
Oh gosh,
and
yeah.
As positive as it is to have that drive of perfectionism, we have to let the control of it go.
Yeah. If I can say so there's different, I know I've done a lot of research on this, but there's 4 different types of perfectionists. And I know I fall into 2 different categories, but I mean, without going into the science of it or whatever, one thing that I've learned is that my perfectionism is rooted in 2 things. On really, 1, the perception of appearing perfect, and 2 is on the competitiveness of always trying to outperform myself. And so what's really kind of happened, quite honestly, with me is that I grew up, I've never had a B in my report card. Every quarter or every marking period, as used to call it, I had straight A's my entire life.
Can't relate.
Never had a B. A's on every exam. It was just a sea of A's.
Yeah.
I was in the top 10% of my class. I got full scholarships to pretty much all the schools I've applied for.
Were you also top something in the state?
I was in the top 1% of students in New Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never be there.
I was full varsity for
track and field
since freshman year. So I have 12 varsity letters.
Wow.
Very rare. I, for all intents and purposes, I was in the William Patterson Honors College. I had a full scholarship there. A lot of my MBA was paid for through William Patterson as well. I had great jobs. I had a really advanced, like, accelerated career. Seemingly things came for a lot of other people what appeared to be easy. But what came with it more on my side was a lot of risk, a lot of always trying to advance and always trying to outperform. And with that was more of the sleepless nights, a lot of believing that I have to do better. Growing up, I always wrestle with the idea of if I'm not doing it, someone's doing more. Someone's lapping me. Someone's, going for the Olympic medal or the Olympic gold medal, if you will. I always had the if they can do it, I can do it mentality. And I always felt like if someone's going to beat me, I have to at least try to aspire to be them or even better. Yeah. And so I always kind of grew up with this kind of crippling idea that there is something that's always out there that you can do more or better. So enough was never defined for me. Enough was just not in my vocabulary. Enough was being the best. That was enough for me. Wow. So I think today, as I go through life, I'm always like, I want to make more money. I want to have more security. I want more everything. There's never anything in my life where I'm like, I'm comfortable. I'm good. I have enough pillows on the couch. You want more pillows on the couch, or you want to change the pillows. Like, there's nothing in my life that's simple that I can say I'm fine with it. It has to always be better.
Yeah, I understand.
It's like a sense of restlessness. How about you?
It's interesting. I mean, I did not have that upbringing. I had a different upbringing. I am the daughter of immigrants that immigrated to this country. My mom came earlier in the 60s, and she spent a couple years here, a couple years there. Once her and my father got married in the 80s, they settled in New Jersey. I am the youngest of two older brothers, and I come from a little bit of a patriarchal culture where, unfortunately, the women have to do everything. They have to be the homemaker. They have to be the one that does the dishes, does the laundry, make sure everyone's prepped for the next day, make sure the house is clean. And, I struggled deeply with that growing up because I knew that's not what I wanted to be. But unfortunately, I had to kind of play the game to fit in. And for me, I had to say, okay, well, my parents immigrated here and they came here to give us a better life. I can't mess up. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. I have to be this perfect being for them because I won't allow them to be embarrassed, right? But unfortunately for me, that meant hiding so much of who I truly was to make it seem on the outside that I was this perfect being. And there is a quote from Brene Brown that perfectionism is a defense mechanism, not a way to reach excellence. And I just came across that, I want to say, a couple months ago on my journey of perfectionism and kind of like figuring myself out. And being able to categorize that as a defense mechanism to not be viewed badly or negatively in the community really was eye-opening for me because I don't think I ever was able to kind of distinctly say those words like in an appropriate manner. Like I knew there was something kind of off about it, but I didn't know how to verbalize it.
Well, don't you think too, like for you, it's like you see it as what your parents did. So you emulate it and you are sometimes like, and by the way, I'm not trying to speak on your upbringing. No. I more mean it as a general question. You grow up believing something and you grow up believing that this is what's normal. And so when you then finally realize that it's not maybe the norm for everyone or it's only the normal for you is when you start to kind of question it a bit.
1000%. Because the thing is too, like my parents were raising us in our culture's way in America, right? So I always knew something was off. Like when I would talk to my friends, they really kind of want to understand where I was coming from a lot of the time.
Yeah, and that's a good way to feel like an outcast, I assume, right?
Like that, I had my own little group of friends. Like I was, you know what it is? It's going to sound like, I don't mean it in the sense, but I was just a very average person. I had average grades. I had a small friend group. I wasn't really into sports. I tried different things, but I was just average. But in the eyes of immigrants, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good, I guess is how I can kind of verbalize it. So I've always been, especially now that I'm starting to find myself a little bit more, and mind you, I'm 33, so what am I going to find? But, chasing this, my perfectionism is kind of debilitating to the point where it's like affecting like different things. For example, let's just say for work, I am so nitpicky on, I like probably quadruple checking things that maybe only need one check, and I still miss.
Oh gosh,
something.
yeah,
You know
absolutely.
what I mean? And it's now kind of causing me to be late on my deliverables, which is like, come on, it's like completely unnecessary because I am allowing my perfectionism to really kind of like be an anxiety response to how I was raised, essentially, because I'm like, oh, if I mess up, especially with, you know, you guys know my story, I was unfortunately laid off twice. It's directly correlated to that. Like, if I don't show up perfectly, I'm going to get fired. That's just kind of the way I'm looking at these things. And it's debilitating to a point where, like, I am emo today and I feel emotional and I'm hung up on something that's so minuscule in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even make the oopsie. It was just an oopsie that happened, you know?
I totally relate to that, where it's weird. You can say, read the email, and rather than just sending the email and getting the point across, it could be in bullets. It doesn't even have to be the most stunning formal email.
Yeah.
But you could see one misspelling, and in my mind, I have to go back and reread it because my mind says there's doubt. You didn't do it perfect. I got to go and redo it, and I will put my finger on the screen and highlight and be like, "Hi, so and so, how are you today?" Period. And I will reread that sentence and then reread the next sentence and then look at every word. Hope it's spelt right. Hope the grammatics are perfect. I won't be able to move on, as opposed to saying, there's a spelling mistake, or I did the grammar check and the spell check says it's okay, and let it go, let it rip. I stall out by it.
Yeah.
But I have actually gotten a lot better with that. When I was much younger, I struggled with that a lot because the fear of failure, or also the perception of you not checking your work and I guess appearing maybe sloppy, or I guess just sloppy really, or not maybe, not like not paying attention to detail or whatever. I will say though is I do have a lot of compassion though for people in their 20s today, and even our generation who are in their 20s, because this is one thing I've always struggled with, and I think it's part of the perfectionism too, though it's not fully, I guess, called it diagnosed with it, is that for the first 18 years of your life, even further, maybe the first 21 years of your life is all about levels. And I think if you're a perfectionist, this is wholeheartedly true. And maybe let us know if you all agree with this, is that when you're a perfectionist, the first 21 years of your life is all about graduation. You go through your first, at least in our town where we grew up, your first, kindergarten through fifth grade is in your elementary school, sixth, seventh, and eighth is in a middle school, then freshman through senior years in your high school. So those first 18 years, it's all about graduation. You learn these skills and things, you get graded on it, tested on it, and you move up to a level. Yep. And so for someone who's competitive and a hyper perfectionist and wants to be right and do things right and perfectly all the time, you're always aspiring to, quote, make it to the next level. Yeah. And so finally, then you get out of high school, you have this choice, this first free will choice to go to college. Still, you make that choice. You have levels with it, but there's a financial component to it. And then after that, you have a choice. Do you want to enter the workforce or continue education? And so my point is at 21, you're faced with these ideas of, now at 21, you can stop with your, quote, levels. Yep. Or you can continue with your education, go to your MBA, or do other things that apply to your field. Where I say that this is hard is that it was, for me, that pivot point around 25 when I finished my MBA. I finished all of those, kind of the bigger education things. I started all my accounting certifications, and I truly felt lost because now there's no levels. I got a job, but I could, in theory, stay in that job for 2 years. I could stay in there for 3 years. I could stay there for 6 months. Other than your goals and someone telling you you're doing good, there's no level. Yep. So yes, there's a corporate ladder, but the point is like, it's not this every year. You go from second grade to third grade. And I never understood that. Yeah. And so that's why I have so much compassion for today with people coming out, because they think today the corporate world is even weirder and certain levels are being eliminated. Entry level jobs are scarce or few and far between. It must be hard to come out of being in levels and now going to a world where there's kind of no levels anymore.
I completely agree. And I think to relate to that, it's you tying your self-worth to your performance, right? So when you're graduating, you're naturally progressing through life,
Yeah.
right? If you are at a job and say you didn't get a promotion for 3 years and you're like, ugh, what am I doing wrong? Am I this horrible worker or whatever? Your self-worth kind of starts getting convoluted in your performance equals who you are. And I know you and I had many deep, long conversations about this in both of our own careers.
Yeah.
And the thing is, too, perfectionism in my mind is such a double-edged sword because there are so many positive strengths, right? Like you have a drive, you have a deep attention to detail. You know that your high standards means that you're going to provide quality work. Even like you just being reliable in your follow through, like that, I think are such positive aspects of perfectionism.
Yeah, I think stellar
right?
memories too.
But then there's always a downside. And like I can say like all three of like the 3 ones that I came up with are like distinctly me, especially today and how I'm feeling. Paralysis by analysis, I think is huge. I mean, how long did we discuss my little mess up today? Like probably a good hour-long conversation, and I was paralyzed.
Thank you. Paralyzed.
I was paralyzed by like talking about it because I was like, "What did I?"
Yeah, you can't get off the loop.
One thing I did wrong, and then that in turn leads to burnout and procrastination.
Well, right, and that event, like everything else, when someone gives you feedback, you can't just take the feedback as a critique. You take the feedback as a failure.
And like a personal attack. Like, I'm not a good person.
And like I've gotten a lot better with that because especially I think in the roles I've had, at least for me right now, that I do make a fair amount of mistakes, like and not like a fair, not all the time, but meaning you make judgment calls, and sometimes you put people in one role, then you realize they shouldn't be in that role. They have to be in a different role, so you have to correct it, or you realize that you gave a client advice, you liked the advice, it was 80% of the advice, and you maybe underestimated your hours, you underestimated something. So now you realize, all right, like I might have to invest a little bit more than I thought, whatever, and so yes, I used to absolutely beat myself up over it of how did I do this and how did I not do the right thing, and the company's gonna fire me and I'm not good enough and I don't deserve my job, and I go down this rabbit hole of like torturing myself over the smallest thing and amplify and catastrophizing it because in my mind I failed, and if I see it as a failure, everyone else does, and everyone else is kind of just like, it's not a big deal, just like invest or, move the person or do this. Like, it's not, we could fix all these things. Yeah.
I think that's a big thing too. Perfectionists don't really realize that listen, we're not doing brain surgery in our jobs. Anything can be fixed, right? That was like, I'm not going to lie, like looking back, like that's so hard for me to like, in my situation that happened today, it's so hard for me to remind myself that like this minuscule issue that happened, it's fixable. Like nothing didn't get delivered. Nothing. It was just in the grand scheme of things, it was a miscommunication. And I'm sitting here truly like crashing out over this for truly and honestly like no reason.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just, I'm so upset because like I just sat and I criticized myself so deeply today. And I understand it's related to my fear of failure.
Yeah. Gosh, it's brutal.
Because I feel that's probably like one of the biggest downfalls of perfectionism is like you want to be perfect because you have a fear of failure.
I will tell you a story.
Please
my fear of failure was very, very, very bad for years. However, and this is where I struggle with this perfectionism because I've gone to therapy for years over and I never was able to pinpoint it. Okay. And what I realized with the perfectionism was 2 things. Was one, I never knew how to ask for help with it. As in, with a perfectionist typically wants to do it on their own because it's their accomplishment and no one can take it from them type of thing. So as a result, I really tried to do things on my own. And then I realized, I think it might have been Steve Jobs, don't quote me on it, but I think it was a CEO, I believe it was him, who said like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And so now I realize, okay, like you have to ask for help. That's what people do. Yeah. And I realized a lot of the anxiety I had at work or in other aspects of my life was me not asking for help or asking for clarification because I believed that was a form of weakness. Now I realize that's obviously not the case.
Yeah, 100%.
But I remember when I was studying for the CPA and I didn't pass the first time.
I remember
And
this.
that was
Gut-wrenching.
gut-wrenching. And I spiraled for weeks, absolutely weeks on I failed and how am I going to tell everyone and everyone's going to think I'm a failure because I am a failure over the CPA exam. That's one of the hardest exams ever.
Yep.
And quite honestly, I didn't deserve to pass it, quite honestly.
Ooh, explain.
Because I studied wrong. And I knew I studied wrong. But and I studied harder, not smarter. I didn't follow the curriculum too right. I tried to learn everything. And I would literally, quite frankly, let's say every chapter there was a different practice test. Okay. I would say do well on chapter 1. I'd be encouraged, almost elated. Chapter 2, I would do great. Let's say passing was 75 or whatever it was. I would get an 80. And I'm like, great, but I'm now a little bit weary. And say, no, I would do a cumulative test between chapters 1 and 2 and do great. And I'm thinking, I'm going to pass the CPA.
Yeah.
Say chapter 3 comes along and I get a 60. I will sit there and be like, nope, can't pass the CPA. I'll close up the books and then freak out that I am not going to be able to pass. Why can I do this? Over a practice test.
Yeah.
Over the practice test, because now I'm thinking in my mind, if I can't get past chapter 3, how am I going to get past chapter 4? And it never made sense. But in my mind, that was so important to me that even on practices, I had to do well. Like I was the kid that studied for the spelling test.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
What a guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I did my homework and it was perfect. And if I didn't like the way it looked, I would retype it or rewrite it down. Yeah.
Pen and paper doesn't have
pen and paper. And also today, fun fact, I write in cursive.
So do I. I love
do you really?
Cursive.
That is such an underrated skill.
It really is. I actually tried for a little stint in my unemployment to get into calligraphy. It's a lot harder than it looks. Beautiful. I love the art of a handwritten note or like a calligraphied tables place card.
Oh yeah.
There's just something so stunning about it. And now like I don't think they're even teaching it anymore.
I feel like on YouTube you see a lot of people like post stuff like that.
Yeah.
But although it's not necessarily on my feed right now, although probably someone's listening or watching, and it's going to probably show up later on tonight.
Agent Craig. Craig's like, all right, let's put some calligraphy on.
Yeah,
Chris's,
we're really excited to talk about that.
Chris's algorithm. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I mean, to go back to that, like the self-criticism is just it's debilitating. It leads to such burnout, and there is nothing good that comes from that energy whatsoever. And I know you and I particularly, especially recently, have been trying to reframe the perfectionism, right? Like you keep saying I'm a recovering perfectionist, and I'm just trying to do better day by day, guys.
Yeah,
I mean, like that's where I'm
truly.
at. And I saw a quote somewhere that says, "Let's turn perfectionism into a superpower," right? So I'm all about the words that you say build your reality. I'm very big on the verbiage you use. Like I really try not to be negative, but today's the exception. And I think it's really important for us that we need to shift from the word perfect to enough, right?
Yeah, I've always said like progress.
Yeah, I mean, whatever word you want to use. Like for me, like I want to change perfectionism to enough or excellent enough or that what I'm doing is good enough for where I am. I feel like such a hypocrite talking about it because of the mindset that I'm in right now. Because I know like I really allowed like this situation to kind of bog me down, but I'm really working to like shift it. Right.
Point is, I mean, that's why I said self-proclaimed recovering perfectionist for that reason. And prior to reading, I never believed in goals because I always would take that goal and make it so absurd and huge.
I love goals.
because again, I as a perfectionist, I'm not able to just put a goal in there and be like, I want to,
you're like, just run 5 miles today. You're like, I'm going to run 50,000 miles by the end of the year.
Here's a perfect example of it was last year in August of 2024, I decided I wanted to run 1 half marathon and just to see if I can do it.
Yep.
And
what did that turn into, Chris?
And then it was, as soon as I did one, I want to run 1 every single month because someone told me that they ran 4 or 3 or whatever it was. So I go, great, I'm going to run 1 every month. Why? I didn't need to do that. But in my mind, that wasn't cool or special or something.
Yeah.
And perhaps I'm immature for that. And I own that. But honestly, in my mind, it was be exceptional. Like that was always my philosophy, and exceptional people do exceptional things. And I for whatever reason, just do that. So, but what has changed my life as a recovering perfectionist was getting a therapist who actually is trained in perfectionism, one. And two, which really helped me was Atomic Habits of celebrating small wins.
Love that book.
Fab book.
I literally, it's on my list to read next.
It is amazing. And I put together, I don't know if anyone's out there, but I actually went to our local Michael's craft store and they had a $29.99 massive marker board.
Yep.
And I wrote down like 25 goals. Now it sounds like you have 25 goals. They're all a lot. Like if I actually tick off one goal, it's actually ticking off 4 because they're kind of all interrelated.
Because you got to stack the wins.
Because I stack those wins. And that's what Atomic Habits taught me was like celebrate every milestone and write down every milestone as if it's part of your goal. And so I've been doing that. I make a ton of lists and reminders. If you actually follow me on TikTok, you would see that every day I post a daily power plan, which is basically everything I want to accomplish in the day. And what I do at the end of the week actually is I look at everything I've accomplished in that week or that month. And you kind of see that, yes, on a daily basis, maybe you're going for a run, cleaning your house and going to work. Then when you look at it at the end of the week, you'd say, I ran, 25 miles this week or 50 miles this week. Yep. And I cleaned my house. I did my grocery shopping. I walked my dog 7 times. I had 5 productive work days and I was able to spend time with friends twice.
Yeah.
Then you realize I actually did a lot.
Yep.
And then you realize like, wow, I am winning or I am doing something. And so sometimes I think their perfectionism in you wants the goal to be faster. So that's where these lists have been really kind of like good for me in setting these goals out as my intentions.
And I also think a good note, if you have a goal list and you check off something as done, that right there is perfect. You finished a goal. Like that right there should be like, oh wow, I did it. Perfect. I did one thing. Don't try to like dissect it. Just say, okay, I finished it. That's perfect. I finished
Absolutely.
That one. I think for me too, and I actually started implementing this again, 2 different things. I have been working very hard on separating myself from my work because my mistakes don't define my worth at all. And that's like very important to me to like remind myself. And by me doing that is I actually started doing time boxing.
What's this?
So I'm not allowing me to get bogged down on the perfectionism. So I bought one of these like little cubes and it has numbers all over the cube. And when you flip it.
So like a dice.
No, it's automated.
It's actually dice from the Monopoly board game. And you go, Emilia.
No, it says like.
You don't have to call it time boxing, babe. You could just call it in dice.
No, it'll be like it has 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and an hour.
Oh, okay.
And then you flip it to what you want to keep a time for a task. So for myself, say I'm working on a project for one of my MDs. I say, okay, I need 45 minutes to work on this. I put it on the 45 minutes and I just sit and I focus on it and I do what I know I need to do. As soon as it goes off, I take myself away for like 5 minutes. I'll go down and I'll get like a matcha or I'll just like maybe like go check my text messages, whatever. And I separate myself from that task because I'm like, you know what? I just spent 45 good, strong minutes on this task. Take a break. You deserve it. You did great. And because I literally what's been happening with me is like I'm hyper fixating and things are getting delivered later and later and later because of that hyper fixation.
Sure.
So I'm now I it's still kind of fresh, but I'm enjoying so far how it's been kind of affecting my day in a positive light.
Amazing.
So and there are so many different ways that you can handle. I mean, the goals, time boxing, you can do journal prompts, deadlines. Celebrate the progress of it, not just the outcome of it. You can even, I think something that would be really positive for you and I would be ask yourself, like, how would I hold you to the same impossible standard that I'm holding myself?
Yes.
Always.
Absolutely.
I deserve perfection.
No, you
from
should
Chris.
truly, you should aim higher.
Like you're just doing
No, go higher. Yeah. Imagine I go, you should be upset.
Yeah, be like, how come you're not more upset? Like you should be working
what do
right
you
now.
mean? I don't get it.
You're not clocking 14
How
hours?
are you not upset? Yeah. No, I kid. I found that that focus was a lot of my problem.
Yeah.
And I found that when I had too much time on my hands was when I started to overly hyperfixate. And what I realized was keeping my plate full but very focused with smart goals that have multiple goals within them was helpful. So a good example, and again, as the runner, I know, annoying runner, here he goes, and talking about running. But for instance, one of my lifelong goals is for me to qualify for the New York City Marathon or for the Boston or Chicago Marathon.
I know Boston's just went out today. I saw some.
Yeah, it's run 4 minutes and like 34 seconds faster than qualifying time.
Something like that,
So competitive. But the truth is yeah. But I actually love that. Like, maybe it's controversial.
It is your bread and butter for sure.
But for the perfectionist in me, it's like, great, it's competitive. Like, I have an aspiration. So in my mind, my goal right now is to qualify for New York or Boston, which I believe is between 2 hours and 45 minutes and 2 hours and 55 minutes, maybe 2 hours and 40 minutes now.
Do Chicago. Let's go back to Chicago.
I would love to. And hey, listen, if you follow me on TikTok, I love Chicago, and you know that post like blew up too. Yeah. I will tell you, like, one of the things that I've been doing is I'm doing the Marine Corps Marathon, as you know, in a month.
So excited.
And then doing Miami in January.
I might just piggyback just to come to Miami.
My gosh, please do. But I will tell you that, so one of my goals was to complete 2 marathons this year. So that's my Marine Corps one. One of them was to beat my first time that I did in March, which was 3:40, which right now I'm definitely on pace to beat it by about 30 minutes, which is wild.
On pace.
And then one was to get involved with a charity, but I need to be involved in a charity for the marathon.
Yes.
Which I got involved with one, which was amazing.
Which charity is that?
Team Red, White, and Blue.
Amazing.
Which is very exciting for me, and it's a great, actually,
amazing foundation.
Amazing foundation, absolutely. It's a military organization that supports just kind of recreation and supports families and military members of getting actively fit and being part of a community.
So beautiful.
Definitely check out the website. It's a wonderful organization, and they have great challenges. It's about inspiring fitness and just bringing people together. So absolutely wonderful.
I love that.
And but so one of my other goals was to get involved with a charity. So you see, like, I'm checking off 1 million boxes as a result of the marathons and wanted to have a more actively fit life, reduce my drinking, because I felt like when I was going out more often, and not that I was drinking a lot, but I felt like I wanted to cut it back, and I needed a better reason. Yeah. Well, but it was just like so social. You know, like I felt like it was trivia. And then we were going out on a Thursday for dinner. Then we had other friends dinner. And then we were seeing my family on Saturday. And then it was the Czech game on Sunday. And
it was kind of like hard to get out.
And then it was just like every week there was like 5 reasons to drink. And so now I've gotten it where I only drink 2 days a week and 2 drinks max. And so it's been really great. And the running has helped with that. So I feel like I'm checking off boxes faster because they're all kind of stacking to each other.
And I think that's such like a good point to reiterate, is that perfectionism doesn't have to be your enemy. I mean, it can be your edge when balanced. And because you balanced it and you've been stacking it, like, you have now an edge upon the competition. You know what I mean? You're doing such amazing things. You are really aiming for the stars, and you're achieving so much in honestly such a short period of time, because you had this dream last year in August. We're on month 13, and look at all of the marathons you're doing. Like, this is insane. I'm so proud of you.
Oh my gosh. First off, thank you. You don't have to say that, but I do appreciate the kind words.
You don't like me blowing smoke?
I will tell you. So looking at my stats right now, today I had to only run 4.5 miles, and my total distance since I started running has been 823 miles.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
I haven't even done 8, so you're doing better than me.
Hey, but that's okay. I have a sub 6 minute mile.
Stunning.
Like, I feel like
I know your times have been actually like pretty sick to watch.
Really
like,
absurd.
From where you started to where you are now is nuts.
No, and I don't say that in even a humble brag way. What I mean by it is, like, I have to also
humble brag way.
Thank you. I say it just because I think as the perfectionists in all of us, we say, is it enough? 100%. Is it good enough? And I'm more just acknowledging, yeah, you know what? Like, I have worked for that. And what I love about it is they are my own accomplishments. And there was a Facebook post that says, like, people who do endurance sports, they do it because they want to show people that they're made of steel.
Yep.
You know, and it is 100% true. You're like, I'm doing it for myself, but I'm also doing it to prove to myself that, like, you could put your body, your mind, and spirit under the most tremendous of ridiculous circumstances, but you're going to prevail. And so while it might seem like maybe a little bit ridiculous to do it, it's been one of the greatest accomplishments of my life. So much to learn.
And I think a simple mantra, just to, even like with running, it's such a great comparison, is that aim for progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
And you've progressed every single day, every single week, every single month since you started this. And it's inspiring.
my gosh, thank you. And like honestly, for everyone even out there too, you know, I'm certainly not one to give advice because I don't have it all figured out in any way, shape, or form. But I will say that there are great books out there that I've read that I think have helped me. I think Atomic Habits was one that has
Amazing.
really helped me. The Mountain Is
Highly
You
recommend.
has been a really great book. There was another book. It was called like The Perfectionist Guide or The Guide to
You told me about that
It
one.
was a
Yeah,
really
I have
good
to
one.
dive into it.
That one was good as well. And all of them together, they're different versions of perfectionism and kind of like goal setting and stuff. But I will say that there's really good books out there and there's really good communities of people, especially in the running community. Everyone will tell you everyone's had bad runs.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone has had bad days. Everyone has had the cramp where they didn't achieve their goal. They didn't PR. They didn't do their best. And it's making me realize like, wow, like even the best athletes have some down days and
Of
stuff.
course.
So,
You're only human.
yeah.
You're never going to always get 100% every day. But
Yeah.
if you can get past that and you can keep going, like that's what matters.
Absolutely.
That's what the beauty of resilience is. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, and I would say, you also doled me a compliment, and I'm not one to
I
take
don't
one
want
without. But I did say this to you earlier, right before I went on a run, was that I think one of your greatest attributes is your resilience.
Thanks.
And so, despite the downfall that you may be feeling today, it's certainly not a downfall.
No, it's not.
I think it's a blip in the road because of past versions of things that you
Yeah.
don't want to come true or be awoken.
100%. And, you know, for myself, it's just, I'm giving myself a day. I feel like it's always healthy. Have a day, go through whatever emotions you have to feel. But then the next day that you wake up, start your day with gratitude. Don't even think about it and just keep going forward. So that's my intention for this week, actually.
I'm gonna actually kind of follow that too. I hope the best thing that we can do is just basically do our best this week. My goal is honestly just to kind of keep going with the running, keep going with the books. Again, one of my other goals was actually to read like 2 books this year because I absolutely hate reading, but I found audiobooks. And I think today I just finished the Art of War.
Oh, I heard such good things.
Fantastic book. Was not expecting that. And I think that one might have been book number 8 that I've read, or audiobook, I should say.
It's still a book.
It's still a book.
Book's a book, whether
and
it's read or it's listened to.
Yeah, I think, let me actually look right now. But yeah, I actually, finished that up. That is book number, actually, that is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is book number 10.
Congratulations, 10
Thank
books.
you.
That's so awesome. Let me tell you, I have 10 books in my Amazon cart, but that's as far as
Yeah,
I've gone.
that is book number 10. But
so fun.
hey, but listen, for any of you out there that's also going through perfectionism, just know you're not alone. It might feel crippling, it might feel doubting, it might feel like you're losing confidence or lack of it, but know that you have a community of people that you can always rely on. We too, and I say we as in I don't have it figured out, but I love people to talk to because I too want to recover and adapt it as much as I can to a life that I want and still be a high achiever, but not have the consequences or the shame or the anxiety related to it. So if anyone's out there that feels that way, let us know.
Listen, guys, in the end of the day, no matter if you're an admin or if you're a COO, we're all just works in progress.
Truly.
And we're all here to support each other. So just be kind to everyone and be that little glimmer of hope for someone's day.
I love that. I think we should wrap it up there.
Wrap it up, Chris. Number
This was
4.
a wonderful episode. I enjoyed talking to you.
As always.
All right, everyone. Like, comment, let us know what you think. Find us on TikTok,
Oh, wait,
Facebook.
this is really important.
What?
We are officially on Spotify.
We are on Spotify.
Spotty, guys.
And we are on Amazon now.
And Amazon and the YouTube.
And on YouTube, we're on Deezer. We're on Podbean, as you know.
We are going global, baby.
Global. Hashtag global.
Hashtag global. Hashtag millennials of TikTok. Hashtag EDPod. But yeah, guys, come find us. Come share us. Hopefully something resonated with you today.
Yeah.
And just thank you for coming and spending time with us.
See you guys next episode.
Bye.
Bye.